Estos son sus ingredientes para hacer una ensalada de manzana. Primero vas a necesitar 3 manzanas, nuez, coco, una lata de media crema, media lata de lechera original, un cuchillo, un pelador, un tabla para picar y un cuchara. So the first step before you can start making your apple salad is to make sure you have your apples washed. Now we're gonna wash the apples. You have to make sure you get out as much grime as possible so the apples are fresh and you won't get any bacteria in your mouth. So this next part can be optional depending on how you like your apple salad. Some people may like their apple salad with apple skin, others will not. So depending on how you like it, you can skip this step or you can use this step. Once you finish peeling all the apples, that's when you start cutting them. There's many ways you can cut them, but this is how I cut them. This core, you can still use it because there's still some apple on the edges, but I'll do that later. You can cut them in how big or how small you want. I prefer something like this, but you can cut them how big. If you want, you could get a size something like this, but it depends on what type of person you are and like how you like them. Now that we're almost finished cutting all our apples, we're going to start adding our next pieces. This part is completely up to you on what you add, but for this recipe we're going to have coconuts and nueces or walnuts. But first we have to add our media crema and half a can of lechera. First, before opening the media crema, you have to always make sure you shake it. Okay, now that we're shaking it, we can open it. Okay, now we can add it to our mixture. This is where you can use your spoon to get any excess that's stuck inside. And there, that's all of it. Next, we open our can of lechera. This will require some eyeballing because you can measure it if you need to, but I don't measure it. So I just eyeball it until I see around half, around that much. Now you just start mixing the apples, media crema, and lechera until you get a good consistency or until you see that they're properly mixed and every apple is coated in it. And there we go. That seems to be good enough. Now we're going to be adding our next parts. Our walnuts, nuez, and our coconut. You gotta make sure your walnuts are smashed properly. Right now I have them in half sizes. So right now I'm gonna smash them. There, now that I have everything smashed, I put approximately 1 cup into this, but you can put more or less depending on how much you want in it. Now that seems good enough. Now our next part is we're gonna put in our coconut. Now I put also approximately 1 cup of coconut into this. Now we can keep mixing. Now just keep mixing until everything's done. Now you can refrigerate for a couple hours to get a more consistent and better texture, and then now you're ready to eat. Now this is a finished product of Ensalada de Manzana that would serve around 4 people. Now let's have our bite. Cheers.